Rick Riordan is coming to town, and I'm so excited. I forgot to say, welcome to Books of Brandywine. Okay, so I have a confession to make. I was obsessed with mythology when I was growing up, especially Greek mythology, but particularly just any of the countries. I just loved studying mythology when I was growing up. And as you know, I love middle grade fiction, especially fantasy. Middle grade is my favorite age level to read, but I have never read any of Rick Riordan's books. I know, shocker, because he's one of the biggest middle grade fantasy writers that there are. Everyone knows who Percy Jackson is. Everybody has heard of Rick Riordan, whether it is his books or the movies that were based on the Percy Jackson series, and I've never read them. But he is coming to town in about 2 months. He will be doing a talk on September 27th at UNM, which is the University of New Mexico, which is a huge university that's here in Albuquerque. And I'm super, super, super excited. I've never read his books, but I'm super excited to go and see him and hear him. But I will be fixing that having not read his books problem. So he won't be alone. He is going to be bringing 2 authors that are part of his Rick Riordan Presents imprint. And they are both New Mexico-based authors. He'll be bringing JC Cervantes and Rebecca Roanhorse, which I don't know who Rebecca Roanhorse is. I need to look that up because I haven't seen her books yet. But I have been really excited to get to read JC Cervantes' books, and I actually saw one of them on sale, I think, at Barnes & Noble when I was there yesterday. And so remember when I did the signing for Christopher Paolini? I tried to get his books read before he came to town. I'm going to be trying to do a similar thing with Rick Riordan's books. He has 5 series that all take place in the same universe, which I think is really awesome. I'm actually really curious to see how that works out, because the different series, there's the Percy Jackson series, and then there's a few that are spin-offs that are dealing with the Greek mythologies, and then there's the Kane Chronicles, I think they said they were called, which are descendants of Egyptian pharaohs, and those deal with the Egyptian gods. And then there's another series that is Chase Magnus, which is, I believe, a descendant of the Norse gods. And they are all in the same universe. So I'm curious to see how he did that with the multiple different pantheons all being in the same universe. Because I feel like there'd be a lot of conflict between the gods if there's Greek gods and Egyptian gods and Norse gods all in the same universe. So I'm really, really curious to see how he did that. I went to the bookstore and I was planning on just buying the first 2 or 3 books in the Percy Jackson series so I could get my feet wet in the series and see his writing style a little bit and just get a little bit used to his writing before he comes to town. And when I got to the Percy Jackson section, I saw this beauty sitting on top of the bookshelf. And even more beautiful was that price right there. So these books individually are $8 each. And if I had bought 3 of the books like I was planning, that would have been $24. I thought there were more books in the Percy Jackson series. It turns out there are only 5 books. And this box set also has a 6th book, which is Percy Jackson introducing us to the different gods from his perspective. And the whole box set is usually, I think it said $49. Where is it? It's usually $49.99, so $50 for the full box set, usually. But it was on sale for $20 for all 5 books plus the extra 6th book. So for less than the price that I would have spent to buy 3 of the books, I was able to buy the full box set. And it was the only one there, and I could not pass it up because that was a really, really, really good deal. More than 50% off the box set. It was $30 off of the box set. So I am going to get to read the whole series. I am already doing the book Chunky Trials and the Medieval-a-thon this month in July. I am planning on doing the Magical Readathon for the Newts for next month, for August, but I have not yet picked my TBR. I still have to decide what my career is going to be for that. So I can try and incorporate some of these into that. If not, I do have most of September to get to read this series since he'll be here on September 27th. I really would like to read I think he has like 20 books, but I don't believe I'm going to be reading all of them before he comes to town. And I'm really excited to get to read some of the other books, like from the other authors that are going to be here as well. So for the ticket this is actually one of those signing events where you have to buy a ticket to go to it, because it is going to be at an auditorium in the University of New Mexico. And so it's a $25 ticket, which comes with a seat and the hardcover of the next book. I believe it's like the 4th book in the current series that he's writing, which I believe is The Trials of Apollo. And so it includes a hardcover of that book that is signed, and then you get a seat at this, they call it a show. I've kind of looked it up a little bit on YouTube, and it does look like it's a show, so we'll see. And so the hardcover books on their own are usually like $17 to $20, and this is going to be a signed copy, which usually costs a little bit more. So basically the ticket to get in is just the price of the book, and then you don't really have to pay anything extra to go see him. And since you usually have to buy something at the bookstore in order to get it signed, then it kind of just adds up to the same price. I think that's about how much I ended up spending at Christopher Paolini's book signing, because I ended up buying the deluxe copy of Eragon while I was there. And then he signed all of my books for me. The hardcover books are going to be pre-signed. He's not going to be doing a signing at the actual event, but we will get to hear him. I think it's going to be like an hour to 2 hours, something like that. And so they were selling that, and then they're also pre-selling the paperback for JC Cervantes' book. So I pre-ordered the paperback for that so I can get to read her book, because I was just waiting for all the books to come out in paperback anyway. And I didn't recognize Rebecca Roanhorse's book or her name, so I'm going to have to look that one up too. That might be like the newest book on his imprint. I've seen a lot of the other ones. Their covers are so beautiful. Like, I cannot stop staring at their book covers. Like, every time I see them, I just want to get all of them just because they're so colorful and beautiful. And so the reason I found out about it was because I was on Facebook, of course, and the algorithm knows everything about us. So it knew that I was interested in books, and it knew that I was interested in events that are in the local area. And so it sent me an event page for a local like book party thing that was going to be going on at a local bookstore, Bookworks. And it was going to be like a what is it called? Camp Half-Blood party, like themed thing with like crafts and activities and stuff. And it was all going to go down at Bookworks, which is on the other side of town. And I happened to see it. I was like, okay, this looks like pretty fun. Like, I could dig this. And I was looking at it. I was like, that's really weird. It's being put on by like Riordan Reads. And I was like, is that like a book club for Rick Riordan? Like, I was like trying to figure it out. And I kept reading it, and it didn't mention anything about him in this event page. And I must have clicked something that like went to the website or something, because then it mentioned that he was going to be giving this talk and be there that day. And so I followed that link and found out about him being here. So he's going to be here in conjunction with Bookworks, which is the name of the independent bookstore that's on the other side of town. It is an awesome bookstore. I love it. They have all kinds of events going on all the time. And so they're going to be having like a party and with crafts and stuff for kids that day. That I think it's going from like 3 to 5 or something like that. And then he is going to be at University of New Mexico from like 7 to 9, I think. Now, I don't know if he's going to be at that party at Bookworks, which I think would be really awesome if he was there and he got to see all the, like, the kids and stuff. Because I think that one of his books is also, like, the book club book of the month for that month, too, which is also what the party is celebrating. And so if I hadn't seen that random invite on Facebook, who knows how long it would have taken me to find out that he was going to be here in town. So of course I've already bought my ticket. I've already like reserved my book. I am so excited to get to go. This is going to be so much fun. I am super, super excited. I'm super excited, which is weird because I haven't read the books, but I'm super excited. Don't fault me for that. This is going to be so much fun. So anyway, I will let you guys know how it goes. I don't know if we're going to be able to film or anything while we're there, but I am still super looking forward to it. And I will let you guys know how it turns out. See you later. Bye.